Good evening, everybody. Welcome to day 10 for tip number 10. Yeah. So today is day 10, 10th of June. As you know, I started on 1st of June and been doing this session for the last 10 days and giving tips on each day on law of attraction. And this tips on each day is actually to help you to ensure that you are able to manifest, you are able to attract what you want in life. Okay, and that's what this is all about, right? Because I did a talk on the 28th of May, and also I run a series of programs. And but since MCO started these 14 days, I thought we'll do 14 days of tips, which sometimes I forget to cover in my classes. And I thought this is a good tips that you can follow in order for you to be able to achieve much success. And today I'm going to give you tip number 10. Now every day there's one tip, and like I told you, next week Wednesday I will do a session to do a question and answer to answer all the queries you have about each of the tip, because I won't have time to actually go and answer questions to all of you. Right. So today is tip number 10, and tip number 10 is very interesting because it's about, well, let me call it, I call it daily forgiveness to increase your vibrational frequency to the universe, okay, to manifest. Or it's something like how do we cut negative chords or negative energy in order for us to attract more. It's a very simple topic, very subtle topic, but many people might not understand that. Why is it that I'm not achieving things? A lot of people say things like, "Oh, Mr. Kati," because I meet a lot of sales people. I meet a lot of people from the insurance industry, the MLM industry. I meet a lot of people from I know Unitrans, and I meet a lot of business people. And I know a lot of people say, "Hey, Mr. Kati, I'm doing vision board. Hey, Mr. Kati, I'm doing affirmations. Mr. Kati, I'm doing vision. Mr. Kati, I'm even doing Ho'oponopono." But why is it that I'm not attracting? So this tips are actually to teach you all that. And one of the reasons why you're not attracting is because you are disturbing your vibrational frequency. What is a vibrational frequency? Like I've told you maybe before, if you have a phone and it's a really good phone, but if you try to make phone call from the lift, the call won't go through. So nothing wrong with the phone. It's just that there's no frequency, there's no connection. Kan? So sometimes when you actually do all this vision board, visualize and everything, but you don't have the right frequency because we own act, which I'm going to tell you shortly, because of what you do, and that possibly disrupts it. So like I told you, when you look at a vision board and everything, it's just like a GPS. You're telling the universe what you want, what you want, what you want. But your frequency with the universe, with God, must be right in order for you to attract what you want. Okay. Now, this frequency that I'm talking about is basically disrupted by what you call negative energy or negative chords. Okay, negative chord. Let me explain what is negative energy. I think you'll understand, lah. People are jealous of you, or you're jealous of people. There's negative energy there, But chords means somebody is sending you a negative thought. Somebody is upset with you. Somebody is not happy with you, or you are sending a chord. So either way, there will be disruption in your frequency. Disruption in frequency. Yeah. So it is important for you to understand that you need to make sure that your frequency is clear. I those days we used to have this radio. I don't know whether you remember olden radio with an aerial. When the aerial is broken, you tune, you cannot get in. And actually, if you go and hold, with your hand, you just go and hold the aerial. Suddenly, you'll have reception. And it's because we are connected to the frequency. We basically, as human being, we are connected. We can connect to the frequency. So if we are already writing affirmation, we are already having vision board, why is it then I'm not getting the sales? Why is it then I'm not able to close my deals? Why? Because of the negative chords that we accumulate on a daily basis. Let me explain. I'll give you one example. I got many examples, but one example here. Driving, for example, when you're driving your car. Okay, when you're driving your car, sometimes sometimes people say, of course, I pay road tax, he pay road tax. It doesn't matter how I drive. But when you do certain nonsense on the road, meaning to say you overtake without putting signal, or you slow down, you're on the phone, whatever, people send you what you call negative chords or negative energy, like stupid driver. Look at this driver, stupid fella. Or you park your car somewhere where you block other people, say, stupid fella, idiot, what kind of a nonsense, what's stupid. So these are called chords which you accumulate on a daily basis without you realizing it, because you are getting curses, and that curses can be actually a chords, negative energy that you're getting. And if you're the type of person who just don't care about other people, you just couldn't care less, you park wherever you want to park, you drive wherever you want to drive, however you want to drive. So you'll get it. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's unintentional. Intentional means you don't care, you drive chinchai as we call it. Sometimes it's unintentional. You don't realize it that you're going too slow, the guy at the back is upset with you. Sometimes you don't realize it that when you park the car, you accidentally parked in a way that you blocked another car. Or you thought you park the car and go to 7-Eleven for 2 minutes and it took 7 minutes and somebody's waiting for you. So sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's unintentional. So you need to understand that on a daily basis, whether intentionally or unintentionally, we are accumulating negative energy, negative thoughts. Other example, social media. I've told you the other day, when you post things on social media, you're actually getting negative energy, negative thoughts. Similarly, when you look at other people's one and you become jealous or you become upset and you're like, oh, wow, showing off, you're actually sending negative energy without you realizing it. So you got to be very careful about that, okay? Sometimes what you post can offend people. Not even what you saying something. Sometimes you post something, without realizing it, and when you post it, you can offend. There's there was a lady yesterday who posted something and talked about how if you want to get a good husband, you need to be bodo, and it becomes a big hot thing, but I think I don't know what she meant by that, but in any case, you offend a lot of people. So a lot of negative energy, a lot of negative thoughts will come. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's unintentional. I do morning postings every day. I send morning messages. Do you know I actually get messages from people who tell me things like, "Can you please stop sending me messages because my data cannot take it. I'm not interested in your morning messages. I'm not." I've even one person who says, "If you want to send me videos, you send. By the way, don't send me morning messages." And I said, "Oh my God, I offended her. I offended him." So you don't know. So I send morning messages every day. I really don't know how many people look at my messages and say, "My God, this guy forever sending me." I don't know. Okay, there's a solution, and that's the tip number 10. That's a tip number 10. I want to tell you something. I watched this movie by Nayantara. It's called Aira. I don't know how many of you watch this movie. It's an amazing movie. It's a ghost movie. And in the movie, Nayantara is the heroine. This is the Indian actress, for those of you who are not Indian or Tamil speaking. This lady, Nayantara, is the heroine of the movie. And what she does is very simple. She goes to the hotel and she's got an issue with someone in the hotel, and she goes into the lift very angrily because I think her parents were trying to matchmake or something like that. And at that point in time, there's a worker, a waitress in the hotel was rushing to get engaged, or something like that. And she was rushing to get into the lift, but Naintra was so upset, she pressed the lift close. And that lady, because of that, she got delayed and she got arrested by police for wrongful arrest. And she goes through a lot of that and she dies. Okay? She comes back as a ghost and kills the people that this heroine knows. And only at the end you'll realize who she is and why she's doing. And the reason was because this lady didn't hold the lift. The heroine, Naintra, didn't hold the lift to let her come in. And because she didn't hold the lift to her, so many times where you go to places where people don't hold the lift for you, you get, so look at this fellas, never hold the lift. Or you go to a MRT and you sit down there, and then the seat is actually for pregnant women, and you like pretend to sleep, so people send you negative thoughts, negative energy. Okay, so anyway, this is something that a lot of people do without realizing it. So what is the solution? Okay, the solution is something called a daily forgiveness you need to read. Okay, so please take a pen, take a paper ready. I'm going to teach you what to do every day before you go to sleep. Okay, this is very powerful. Every tip I give you is very powerful because I've done research on it and I know how powerful it is. That's the reason why people who follow a lot of these tips that I give them are very successful. So a lot of people even call me. Even today, I got messages from people, a call from people who say, "Mr. Kati, I'm doing this. How come?" And then I tell them many reasons why you might not be. It could be you never do Ho'oponopono, maybe you never do your affirmation properly, maybe on a daily basis you're accumulating negative energy. Okay, so this is so I hope you got a paper and a pen already. Okay, so this is the affirmation you must read, or this a prayer you must read, or this is just something you must read every day. Okay, so different parts. Okay, first part is you put that dear God or dear universe. That's the first thing you must remember. So initially you have to probably read from a paper, but later you memorize it. So first thing you must do, dear God or dear universe. Okay, and then you write there, I would like to ask forgiveness to anyone I have hurt or offended intentionally or unintentionally, directly or indirectly today. I repeat, repeat, dear God universe, I would like to ask forgiveness to anyone I have hurt or offended, intentionally or unintentionally, directly or indirectly today. And next paragraph, I would also like to forgive anyone who has hurt or offended me intentionally or unintentionally, directly or indirectly today. The second paragraph, I'm going to repeat. I would like to I would also like to forgive anyone who has hurt or offended me intentionally or unintentionally, directly or indirectly today. And then the last paragraph, God, with this, I ask you to change all my negative energy to positive energy, and it is done. So the last paragraph is, God, with this, I ask you to change all my negative energy to positive energy, and it is done. Thank you, God. Let me explain. So you start with dear God, dear universe, and when you say, I would like to ask forgiveness to anyone, that means anybody that I've hurt or offended, intentionally or unintentionally. Sometimes intentionally you do something, sometimes maybe unintentional. And directly or indirectly means directly, sometimes you hurt somebody, but sometimes indirectly, like I say, you're driving a car. Directly means you suddenly come out, swerve the car, and you directly upset somebody. Indirectly means without realizing there's a car at the back, you come out. That's indirectly, and you don't even know them. You understand? And sometimes you press the lift close, you don't even know somebody's trying to come in. So it's indirectly and unintentionally. That's why you must do that. So that's why. So first is you ask for forgiveness. Then you also forgive people, because there are also people who have offended you, and you will be carrying it with you. Negative energy, you're carrying it with you. Again, you must also let it go. Okay, you must also let it go. And of course, at the end, you say, God, with this, I ask you to change all negative energy to positive energy, and it is done. When you say it is done, means, God, I've surrendered to you. That's why it is done. That means, God, I've surrendered to you, and you finish your thing. Now, if you say this every day, at least once, you can say 2 or 3. Many of us, I say 3 times a day. So you can lie down and say, so I normally lie down and then I would say, God, dear God, I would like to ask forgiveness to anybody. I'll start with that. Okay? You can lie down. First few times, maybe you want to leave the light open, read it, then you memorize it, then you read. But very, very, very powerful when you read once or twice or 3 times, or at least once. Because on a daily basis, when you go to sleep, you're cleansing. You know what happens? You'll sleep well. You'll sleep deep. You'll find that you feel very refreshed because you have asked forgiveness for everybody. That's why sometimes when you go and sleep, sometimes you guys, when you watch a ghost movie, then you go and sleep and then you get nightmare, because the chords are there, the fear is there, the energy is there. But when you do this and you've cut down all the negative energy, negative cut throughout the day, when you go to sleep, you'll have a really, really peaceful sleep. So you must do it every day before you go to sleep, at least once or up to 3 times, and until it becomes a habit for you. Yeah, is that clear? So listen, I know how powerful this is. It's a question of whether you want to. I'm going to read it one more time for the benefit of everybody. Yeah. So the forgiveness affirmation that you must read every day, which is tip number 10, is, dear God or dear universe, I would like to ask forgiveness to anyone I have hurt or offended, intentionally or unintentionally, directly or indirectly today. And I would also like to forgive anyone who has hurt or offended me, intentionally or unintentionally, directly or indirectly today. God, with this, I ask you to change all my negative energy to positive energy, and it is done. Thank you, God. So that's a lesson for today, and I hope it's a good tip for you. I hope you start practicing. You will see amazing result. Your health will improve tremendously because you're cutting the cord. A lot of you don't realize that cancer comes because of stress. A lot of problems we have because of the energy we attract, the negative energy we attract. You understand? So you have to be really, really. I was talking to someone today, and I was telling her that when you go out to eat food, for example, I always tell that food absorbs energy. You must remember something, yeah. So when you eat food, if it's open food, like in a restaurant, when you go and eat mixed rice or whatever food, if it's cooked and served, eat it is okay. But when they keep it for 6-7 hours, and if they cook in the afternoon, eat it at night, the food has got a lot of negative energy, and you got to be very careful. So similarly, throughout the day, as you go on with your life, you go on with your activities, as you drive your car, as you meet your people, sometimes people get offended because you never say good morning to them. People got offended because you say good morning to them and they're upset about it. So you don't know, right? So just do this every day. Don't think about who. Just say to all the people and ask forgiveness and give forgiveness. All right? So I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock with tip number 11. Is that clear? So stay safe, be safe. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.